2, Brooklyn Hebner. Number 3, Elisa Gilliam. Number 4, Anna Prescott. Number 5, Aaron Lookerville. Number 7, Summer Fontana. Number 11, Camden Gerlin. Number 12, Delaney Wilson. Number 13, Caitlin Chapman. Number 15, Faith Kerrigan. Number 17, Caitlin Kozak. Number 18, Alyssa Rush. Number 20, Brianna Tamborello. Number 21, Roma Contreras. Number 22, Lauren Jackson. And number 61, Alexandria Gutter. Now for the starters of Lenoir-Rhyne. Leading off and serving is the DP number 1, Madison Wilson. Batting second, playing shortstop number 23, Caitlin Rackers. Batting third, playing second base number 34, Julia Martinson. Batting fourth, catching number 33, Rainey Warren. Batting fifth and playing right field number 9, Cassidy Wall. Batting sixth and playing first base number 24, Laura Pat Wood. Batting seventh and serving off the Bears starting pitcher number 10, Lauren Race. Batting eighth and playing third base number 77, Madison Prince. And batting ninth and playing center field number 6, Caitlin Brown. And playing in left field number 8, Abby Nixon. The head coach of the Bears is Dana Holler. She is assisted by Emily Penley. Umpires for today's contest. At first base, Roger Potts. At third base, Donald Purnell. And behind home plate, Danny Schumer. And now, game number 3 of the 2024 NCAA Division II Softball Southeast Super Regional. Leading off for the Nighthawks, number 21, Katie Ward.
Been in scoring position with 1 out for Georgia Blair as Blair represented a tying run. In the final game of the Super Regional, the final game of the season for one of these teams, Katie Ward takes ball 1 against Lauren Race.
Georgia, you just got to shake off anything that happened in those late game situations about 30 minutes ago against Lenoir-Rhyne. It's winner take all here. The game is really set. Shake off any nerves coming into this matchup.
Race started yesterday's game 1 of this Super Regional series. Did not make it far. In the third innings, 6 earned runs allowed on 4 hits.
Rakes also got the start in the winner go home game against Wingate last weekend. Pitched all 8 innings of that matchup, had more strikeouts than she did walks, trying to get a repeat performance here.
Worked softly on the ground at third, and gets away. An error to start the day defensively for Madison Creighton. The Bears moving forward down to second base. Score at 5 for the leadoff runner in scoring position.
Take it off now, let's go.
That play from
Now batting it, catcher number 71, Georgia Blair.
how easily and lead off this game with the make it to second and some early runner in scoring position for Georgia Blair.
Pitch to Blair. Umpires had shifted for game 3 of this Super Regional to Wayne Shoemake behind home plate. Roger Potts over at first. Donald Purnell, who had the strike zone in game 1 today, moves over to third.
Now batting to center fielder number 2, Lenoir-Rhyne.
So Georgia Blair's double down the left field line scores Katie Ward after she reached on an error to start this game with nobody out. Mallory Parker now at the plate, no balls and 2 strikes. We apologize for some technical difficulties with our audio to start this game. So it's Lauren Rakes in the circle for Lenoir-Rhyne. It'll be Kristen Davis, who pitched the majority of the innings in Game 1 today, starting in the bottom of the first for the Nighthawks. Parker 0-2, Sky to the air, left side. Prim runs over, and she'll just get a better look at it as it lands out of play. So Lenoir-Rhyne scores 3 runs in the 6th inning of today's first game. They find a way to win it, thanks in part to the solo home run from Lauren Rakes, breaking a 3-3 tie in that 6th inning. And they push it to a decisive 3rd game here in the Super Regionals. Swing and a miss. Parker down on K's. Lauren Rakes gets a much-needed first out after a run's already come across. That's the first out of the game.
A lot of these seniors on display here know what's at stake. This could be their potential final game for either side, and they don't want it to end here. They want it to end in the Sunshine State in Orlando.
Brumby swings and misses at the first pitch. She had 1 hit in 3 tries in the first game today. Did have a pair of RBIs. One of them coming on a ground out in her first at-bat. A ball and a strike now on the sophomore. So if you're North Georgia with Kristen Davis in the circle after having worked the majority of Game 1 today, you have to feel a little bit of pressure on offense to give her some run support. They've done that early. But you wonder how much Lenoir-Rhyne rides the momentum from that win. That sort of feels like a comeback win for them. And the advantage for the Bears, they won the coin toss before this series started. That coin toss decided who would be home in the 3rd game if we needed to get here. And as we do, Lenoir-Rhyne will bat last here in the Super Regional.
Yeah, that's crucial because Lenoir-Rhyne's been so good in these late game situations in the playoffs. They've been able to get some walk-off wins and close out some really close games.
Brumby just slices it foul. Lenoir-Rhyne in the postseason. We mentioned it yesterday. With the win today, they've got 10 postseason wins this year. 9 of those have come by 1 run. 7 of those by 1 run, 5 in extra innings. Brumby takes ball 4 on a close 3-2 pitch. LR fans not happy with the call from home plate umpire Dwayne Shoemate. Now Madison Simmons, the RBI manufacturer for the Nighthawks, steps up with 1 out.
And like you said, the umpire shifting over. Now with Shoemate at home plate, the strike zone may look a little different here in this final game.
It was a tight strike zone for both pitchers in the first game today. 11 total walks between the 2 teams. Lenoir-Rhyne worked 6. North Georgia worked 5. Just 4 strikeouts combined between the 2. Kristen Davis had 3 of those. Rakes checks her wrist and fires. Simmons hard and foul down the left field line out in front of the off speed.
Yeah, Simmons is not going to shy away from pitches like those. She knows what's at stake here. Season on the line, and a veteran that's not going to go down easy.
Whisks that one foul, 1-2. Lenoir-Rhyne's been to this Super Regional 3 times in their program history when you add in this year. 1-2, Simmons on the ground to short. That's off of Rackard. She can't make the play, and the Nighthawks will have the bases loaded. Bad bounce for Rackard up towards her shoulder, and it just ate her up.
Yeah, a couple of miscommunications here by this infield, and Rackard this season, she's responsible for a handful of the errors from this Lenoir-Rhyne squad in North Georgia. If they want to start to plate some more runs, maybe try to test her a little bit, responsible for 13 of those of the 51 errors coming into this matchup from Lenoir-Rhyne.
So 2 errors in the inning already. Katie Ward reached on an error from Madison Prim at third to lead things off in this game. That one tacked on to Caitlin Rackard's record at short. And Robert, you mentioned yesterday some of the struggles that Rackard has had fielding at shortstop. Obviously not an easy position. Double-digit errors for her this season. And we'll see how costly that one is as Tegan Laval Masonette, the redshirt freshman and designated player today for Mike Davenport, steps up with the bases juiced.
Coach Davenport has so much faith in Laval Masonette. She started every win-or-go-home game here for North Georgia. Another one here. She's in a big spot with the bases loaded. Still just 1 out, trying to extend this 1-0 lead if you're North Georgia.
First pitch, fastball upstairs, misses for ball 1. Laval Masonette hitless in today's first game. She did reach on a walk in the 4th inning. It's Blair at third. Brumby at second. Simmons over at first. And it's now 2-0. We mentioned Lenoir-Rhyne's 3 trips to the Super Regionals, all of them here in Dahlonega. Their win early this afternoon, just their second in all 3 regional trips. 3-0 on Laval Masonette.
Well, that was a good-looking pitch there from Rakes. And the Bears fans here disagree with that call.
Bases loaded. Nowhere to put Tegan. She takes all the way, and it is a strike. Is it an auto take again? 3-1 here for Laval Masonette. I think you force Rakes to throw a strike, don't you?
We've seen her force a walk with bases loaded in the playoffs before.
She takes again, and strike 2 called. Laval Masonette was ready to pop down to first base. Instead, it'll be a full count. Huge pitch coming early in this Super Regional Championship. Rakes fires. Popped up foul. We already saw how well Tegan can battle with 2 strikes. A 16-pitch at bat in her first appearance yesterday in Game 1 of this series.
Yeah, usually if you see a Nighthawk go down, it's in a full count or at least a 2-2 count. Very rarely do you see them walking back to the dugout where they're down in the count.
Payoff pitch once more. Fluttered right side and foul on the play. Riley Moody is next. As long as the Nighthawks can stay out of a double play. They did ground into 1 in the first game today. Again, Rakes. Again, foul. That's the 3rd foul ball this game, and it's gone to the left side and landed on top of the Lenoir-Rhyne dugout.
This at-bat is reminiscent of what we saw from Laval Masonette yesterday in that 16-pitch at-bat for her, and she's not going to go down on this at-bat without a fight.
Pitch number 9. In play off the end of the bat. They come home. It is out. Standing on home plate is Lainey Warren. A nice job by Rakes. The bases stay loaded, but Lenoir-Rhyne avoids letting another run come across.
That was exactly the right play there that you want to make if you're Lenoir-Rhyne, keeping Georgia Blair from making this a 2-0 ball game, and bases stay loaded. 2 outs go up on the board where North Georgia has thrived this year. See if Riley Moody can extend this inning for North Georgia.
So everybody moved up. Blair the only one not safe on her advancement. Brumby at third, Simmons at second, Laval Masonette over at first for Riley Moody. She came up big with the bases loaded yesterday. The Nighthawks need her to do it again today. Lenoir-Rhyne and out from getting out of this inning with only one run across.
Yeah, if the Bears are able to come out of this inning with just one run up on the board, it's going to be big having the bases loaded for a handful of batters here for North Georgia.
That ball popped up foul. Everybody called out because it looked like it was going to get out of play. The wind, I think, brought it back. It landed basically in the Lenoir-Rhyne on-deck circle. Certainly could have been caught by Lainey Warren had she gone for it. It is 0-2 on Moody. Outside, Lenoir-Rhyne on the edge of their seats, ready to jump up for strike 3, but it's ball 1, says Dwayne Shoemate. The 1-2. Fouled again. Strenuous first inning for Rakes.
Yeah, the Nighthawks have really put the pressure on here early on one of the best pitchers in Division II softball in Rakes. Been racking up the strikeouts this year. She's going to have to find another one here against Moody if she wants to keep runners stranded on all the bags.
And Moody will just slice another foul. So Tegan Laval Masonette had 3 two-strike fouls. Moody has had 2 already. She's in a 1-2 count. Flags indicating the wind blowing in from the outfield. Kind of a swirling wind, though. There's ball 2 as it skips in. It's a nice stop by Warren behind the plate, probably saving a run.
Yeah, absolutely. Brumby was ready to make a break for it to home plate.
Riley with 7 postseason RBIs this year, looking for at least number 8. And strike 3 called. Rakes gets out of it. She leaves them loaded. Only one comes across in the inning for North Georgia. And Lenoir-Rhyne's going to bat trailing by a run in the first in the Super Regional Championship, the Lonica edition, 2024 edition. We'll be right back on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
We have a long tradition of athletics at the University of North Georgia. For the past 50 years, our athletic programs have been making a difference for our university. And today, I'm really excited to talk about how we will take that to the next level. When you think about elite athletics, you think about elite performance. Mary Rob, tell me what that means to you.
So elite performance at the University of North Georgia is unique because we have a value proposition unlike anybody else in this country, where we're able to perform at the highest level because of our connections with our Corps of Cadets and our College of Health Sciences and Professions, coupled with our professionals from coaches, athletic trainers, support staff in our Department of Athletics, where we're preparing our student athletes to battle on the field of competition, in the classroom, and in our community. We'll be elite in everything we do.
So today, we are really excited to announce our strategic bet, where we are going to deliver elite performance, elite competition, and the most value-adding Division II athletic program in America. Go Nighthawks.
The first pitch to Madison Wilson is put in play, and Mixon rifles one over to first base. Brumby had to step into foul territory and avoid Wilson to make the play. She does so successfully, so one pitch for Kristen Davis and the first out in the game defensively for North Georgia.
Yeah, 99 times out of 100, Gracie Mixon is going to make that play over there at third base. Looks like she's got some sort of a wrap on her wrist. Not sure if she had that in the first game today.
Yeah, I don't know that I remember that. She's got a white wrap of athletic tape on her right wrist. Rackard showing bunt, pulls it back on ball 1. Caitlin Rackard's error at the top of this inning ended up not mattering. Lenoir-Rhyne and Lauren Rakes, the starter, able to get out of it and leave the bases loaded without bringing home a run. The only run that came in was Katie Ward, who let things off after reaching on an error. And Rackard just goes right back up the middle for a single.
That one snuck right under the armpit of Kristen Davis. Usually she's able to make plays like that if they're a little bit lower towards her feet, but that one got right past her. Put a runner on for Mardigan.
Mardigan takes strike one. Julia earlier today set the program single season RBI record. 65 in 1 year. And if this Super Regional Series first 2 games have been any indication, she's not done. She had 2 yesterday, 1 in the game earlier today.
Yeah, she's had a historic season for Lenoir-Rhyne, and if they're able to win this game and advance to the national championships, she's going to have her fingerprints all over it.
1-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike as Davis misses. Low and inside. So already action in the bullpen for North Georgia. I think Mike Davenport planning to be ready just in case things get out of hand. Slicing to right field off the bat of Mardigan. It's caught by Simmons. That's the second out. We see Tybee Denton in the bullpen, the starter in the first game today. She's just stretching. Delaney Heberlin and Aniston Wright, the 2 primary relief pitchers for North Georgia, both throwing in the bullpen. There you see them. Denton also as well back there. First pitch strike, Delaney Warren, the catcher. So I imagine that's the plan, that if things get even close to out of hand, Davis, who already threw 6 innings in the first game, will be pulled in favor of a relief pitcher. We've talked about the injuries to Sophie Mooney and to Jolie Lester. One thing we haven't really discussed is Sophie Mooney's pitching ability. She was an ace for North Georgia last year out of the bullpen. It was still Davis and Denton who primarily got all the starts, but Sophie would come in the late innings of a game as this one's grounded to Moody at short. She steps on second base for the out, leaps over a sliding Caitlin Rackard. Riley Moody an athletic play. And after 1 inning, the Nighthawks lead it by a run. A good frame by Kristen Davis. 1 base hit allowed to Caitlin Rackard, and that is it. Second inning coming up after these words on the Nighthawks Sports Network. To everybody around me yelling at them. Gracie Mixon, Mariah Wicker, and Katie Ward will start the second inning for North Georgia with a 1-0 lead. Ward reached on an error to lead things off in this game. Then Blair brought her home with a double, and on Katie Ward's error, the throw from Madison Prim at third sailed first base and allowed Ward to get into scoring position at second, so she was brought home on the Blair double. Nighthawks did load the bases after that, but Lauren Rakes and her defense got out of it. First pitch to Mixon, strike on the inside. Just wanted to continue that thought we were talking about before the break with Sophie Mooney. She was their main relief pitcher last year. She was one of the best relief pitchers in the country. With that effective drop ball that she has, it just kind of falls off the table right before reaching the hitter at home plate. Mike Davenport loved using her out of the bullpen. She's been injured this year, and it's easy to talk about the lack of offense when an All-American is hurt and has been in and out of the lineup. But Mike Davenport has said, we probably lose with Sophie Mooney, arguably our best hitter, our best first baseman, and our best relief pitcher in all of that. So today, as she has worked her way back and has had some at-bats, you wonder if it's in his mind, maybe if things get necessary, does he use Sophie in the circle today as Mixon pops out to short right beyond the second base bag?
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to follow the pitching story for North Georgia. to see Sophie Mooney potentially take over in the circle. Hasn't pitched since February 25th against USC Beaufort. Hasn't pitched more than 2.2 innings in a single game this year, but her versatility in the circle and up to bat is one of the main reasons she won the national championship.
Wicker pops a bunt up. What a running catch by Madison Prim. That ball looked like it was going to fall, and had it, it would have been an easy bunt single for Mariah Wicker. Quickly 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, Mariah Wicker usually placing those perfectly placed bunts. That one got popped up a little too high into the air for her, and that was a great catch there by this Lenoir-Rhyne infield to give us 2 outs.
Ward, the leadoff hitter, right to short. P6, P5, P6. Quickly a 1-2-3 in the second inning, and the Lenoir-Rhyne fans love it. A 1-0 game. Bears trying to come back as the Go Bears chant rings through Haynes and Carolyn Hill Stadium. We'll be back in the Southeast Super Regional Championship on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledged.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
North Georgia up a run early in this one. Bears batting for the second time today. It starts with Cassidy Wall, the right fielder, 5, 6, and 7 scheduled in the second. Wall takes ball 1. In discussing our Sophie Mooney contemplations, whether she may be used out of the bullpen today, it is worth noting from our perspective what we can see is that's lined right to Moody at short for the first out. Sophie Mooney is not in the bullpen with that other trio of bullpen pitchers warming up. Davis has started this game well, though. Just 1 base hit, 1 runner so far through the first 5 at-bats. Laura Beth Wood takes a sliding pitch across the plate outside.
And if one person who certainly doesn't want to go home, it's going to be Laura Beth Wood. In her 5th year with the Bears, she's been around this program for a while.
She lines one right to short. Boy, if you're on the left side of the infield for either of these teams, you better be awake. All 3 outs in the top half of this inning went to short or third, and the first 2, L6 in the bottom half.
A couple back-to-back great plays there by Riley Moody, who's had her up and downs at short during the regular season, but she has been fielding really well here once we've gotten into the PBC tournament and the Southeast Regional tournament.
She had the nice unassisted put out in the final out in the first. After a ground ball up the middle, fielded it, stepped on second to get the force on Caitlin Rackard. So this is Lauren Rakes batting in the 7-hole for herself as the pitcher today. And that huge home run in the first game today to make it 4-3 in the 6th. Thought about offering at the high fastball, didn't, and that was smart. It's ball 2.
Yeah, that was really where Lenoir-Rhyne started to break through. Obviously took the lead off of the 16th home run of the season from Rakes, and from then on out, after that home run from her, all the momentum had just shifted over to the Bears' side.
She smoked that home run, too. It was just a bullet over the center field wall.
Yeah, that was a no-doubter.
And it wasn't one of those no-doubters that was high and deep. It was just so fast and so hard on a line, you knew it wasn't going to stay. It snuck over that 8-field wall in center field.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before the Bears found a home run here at the Hill. Their 90th of the season. They've been dominating and sending balls over the wall.
And those 90 home runs, second most in program history. They would need a miracle to reach the record that was set in 2010 at 102 home runs. You remember we mentioned it, that 2010 team came to Dahlonega in the Super Regionals, and that's where their season ended.
Yeah,
that 2010 team actually the only other game that Lenoir-Rhyne has won in the Super Regionals against North Georgia before today.
Yeah, these two teams always find a way to face off against each other when it matters most in the Southeast Regional Tournament. North Georgia has ended Lenoir-Rhyne's season before, back in 2022, a run rule win to end the Bears' season, and I think that some of that is still in the back of some of these players' heads. A lot of those players returning from that 2022 team for this matchup.
Payoff pitch, and that's ball 4. First walk allowed for Davis, second base runner. Now it'll be Madison Prim's turn with 2 outs.
And both of these teams have made it really hard on these two pitchers for them to close out innings with 2 outs up on the board as they continue to fight.
Lenoir-Rhyne as a team, a .308 average with 2 outs. That's actually less than their total season average. Prim in particular, just 11 for 51. That's a .216 average at the plate with 2 outs in the frame. Here's the 1-1. On the ground, left side, diving stop by Mixon. She can't get up in time to make the throw, though. She basically landed on that left arm where the ball was trapped in the glove and had no play. Infield single for Prim. Now the 9-hole hitter, Kaylin Brown, will bat.
Yeah, Grace Mixon always making plays like that where she's diving on the turf. That one, though, doesn't pay off as she loses track of the ball, and now a runner's in scoring position for the Bears.
Boy, Davis getting squeezed. Close pitch for ball 1. Brown walked with 1 out in the 6th inning in first game today. Moody, nice play at short to get the final out here. Lenoir-Rhyne still held scoreless through their first 2 at-bats. North Georgia holding on to a 1-run lead. We're on to the 3rd on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
One nothing. North Georgia leads in the 3rd inning. It will start with Georgia Blair, the only player so far one time through the order with a hit. She had that double in the first that scored Katie Ward. That's all the offense we've had today early through these first 2 innings. Very different story from the last 2 games.
Yeah, it was kind of an offensive onslaught between the Nighthawks and the Bears, plating a lot of runs, especially early in that matchup. Only 1 run between these 2 squads through the first 2 innings. Can imagine that's going to change here as we get to the heart of the game. These 3rd and 4th innings for North Georgia, especially as the away team in this matchup, it's going to be really, really, really big for them here. This is where they've seen majority of the runs put up on the board here is in this heart of the game.
Pitch on the outside for a strike. Blair can't believe it. I think she dropped her jaw after that one came in. A jaw-dropping strike call. There's ball one. Rakes taking her time, getting the signal from Emily Kenley, the assistant coach at the dugout. Now goes on the 1-1, and it misses after the delay.
Georgia Blair leading off this inning for North Georgia. She's the team leader in RBIs, so she's got nobody on right now, but still, she's one of the best players left in this tournament at getting on base. Try to set something up for Mallory Parker on deck for her.
Time called. Now Blair ready for the 2-1. Popped up and fouled back over home plate. So some updates around the country. Texas Tyler advances in the South Central region. UT Tyler, the number 3 team in the nation. They win 2 games over Oklahoma Christian. 6-3 and 3-0. Left side, fielded on a hop by Rackard, and she boots it after trying to gather the ball. Blair would have made it close at first, but I think that's an error. It does go up as the 3rd error already today for Lenoir-Rhyne. That's the 2nd on Rackard.
Like we mentioned earlier, that's what North Georgia has to do in this game is test Rackard over there at shortstop. She's been compiling a handful of errors this season, a couple already in this game.
Now Parker drops down a bunt, and it skips foul on some backspin. So UT Tyler is headed to Orlando. So is Auburn Montgomery. They pull out a close one in the South region, 6-5 against Mississippi College. Auburn Montgomery, the away team, scoring in the top of the 7th and then getting out of it. So they win 2 games against Mississippi College to move on. So there's 3 teams already on their way to Orlando. That's Charleston, Auburn, Montgomery, and Texas Tyler. Each of them 1, 2, and 3 seeds in their respective regions. Charleston a 3, Tyler a 2, Montgomery a 1.
And Montgomery has looked dominant over their super regionals. That 14-1 win for them, putting all 14 runs up in the first inning of that win for them. And UT Tyler also is going to be making a lot of noise over there in Orlando, making it back to the national championship. We saw them face off against North Georgia last year in Chattanooga.
Inside strike, Parker gasps at the call and steps out. She can't believe it. So we had a small zone in game 1 and a little bit bigger zone from Dwayne Shoemate here in game 2. It's now 2-2 on Mallory. She slaps it foul the opposite way. So around the country, every other game in the Super Regionals still to be played underway except for UIndy and Trevecca Nazarene. Still have not started. They were scheduled to start at 3 o'clock in the Midwest. It's postponed. That's taking place in the capital city of Indiana, Indianapolis. There might be a late decision between the 1 and 2 seed who comes out of the Midwest region. UIndy, the 2nd ranked team in the country. The top team left after West Texas was out. This is to the right side, and it's off the glove of a diving Mardigan. That would have been major trouble for the Nighthawks had it been caught because Blair was kind of in between. That was good base running by Blair to at least stop and watch. Just floated off the bat of Parker, and they've got 2 on with nobody out for Brumby.
Yeah, that could have potentially been a double play there by Lenoir-Rhyne to put 2 outs up on the board and clear the bases for Brumby. Instead now, no outs. Brumby's got a couple runners on.
She fouls the first one away. Mary Seal walked in the first inning today, got all the way to third base before the Bears got out of the jam. There was bases loaded. Brumby in play, left side, backtracking is Rackard. She gets called off by Abby Nixon at the last moment, and Nixon does hang on for the first out.
Yeah, good rebound play there by Nixon, forcing Brumby into the routine play there, keeping runners at bay on first and second for North Georgia.
Madison Simmons, 0 for 2 with a walk in the first game today. Grounded into a double play, the only double play of the game in the third inning. She reached on Rackard's first error at short in the first inning in this game. Breaks in front, no balls and a strike. Simmons thought about it, crowd wanted it, it's just ball one.
And Simmons is so important to the success of this team, whether she's up to bat or she's in the dugout. We've seen plenty of times this year where she's kind of rallied the team around her and given them a speech to hype them up.
Crowd wants it again, but it's ball two this time. Simmons ready. Swings and just tips it foul.
Yeah, Simmons, another one of those players like Mallory Parker, where she's in a count like this where it's 2-2. She's going to go out on a big swing, whether it's a fair play or not.
And swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs. Beautiful pitch from Lauren Rakes for strike three. The first two in the inning reach, the next two quickly down. Taking Laval Masonette in a big spot. She takes a first pitch strike. What did the Nighthawks in their first loss of the NCAA tournament to Francis Marion over the weekend was an inability to bring home runners. They had 10 hits in that game. They out-hit the Patriots 10-4, but lost 2-1 in 9 innings. And early in this game, with 2 hits and a flurry of base runners already, they're not on the right track to avoid that same fate. They do lead it 1-0, though. Laval Masonette high in the air, right side, long run for Wood. She's called off, but diving, it's Mardigan who can't get there. Wood got called off at the last moment. I think she had a chance to make that catch, Robert.
Yeah, that could have easily been out number 3. A couple of Bears there in the vicinity to make the play. Great effort, but instead, Laval Masonette's going to get another crack at it here in the same count.
The seniority, or hierarchy, I guess you could call it, for foul balls usually goes corner infielders, then middle, then the outfielders have the final say. Pitchers always last on that list. They're never allowed to catch it. Only if it's right to them.
Only if it's going right back to the circle.
Laval Masonette, a couple foul balls with 2 strikes here. She's done this a lot this week. Another 0-2. Again, boy, what a late swing, and she's just able to chop it right on top of the plate foul.
And again, it's at-bats like these for Laval Masonette is exactly why she's in these games where North Georgia's season's on the line. She just has been battling up here when she's been up to bat, whether it's been on, foul balls or keeping balls in play. She is not going down easy.
Again, no balls and 2 strikes. Puts it in the air, center field, and playable easily for Kaylin Brown. First 2 runners get on for the Nighthawks. One of them on an error. 3 errors in the game for Lenoir-Rhyne, but only a run for UNG. Third inning batting the Bears after the break on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
1-0 lead for North Georgia. They've struggled to bring home runners. Bases loaded opportunity twice in the first inning. Both of those at-bats resulted in an out. They get the first two on in the third inning here, including a free pass on an error. And it goes 1-2-3 after that. See if Lenoir-Rhyne can capitalize on some good pitching and defense. I think at the top of the order with Madison Wilson leading off the third. Davis, ball one.
We were just talking in the commercial break about Lenoir-Rhyne. Even though they haven't scored here in the first handful of innings, it's going to be scary once we get to the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning against this team where they have thrived in late game situations. So even though their bats haven't been quite warmed up yet, got to watch out for them once we get into the latter half of this game.
7 one-run wins since the end of the regular season for the Bears. 5 of them have come in extra innings.
Yeah, we've seen it all from the Bears this year. We've seen 5-run comebacks. We've seen walk-off wins. Plenty of action from the Bears side.
Wilson ahead, 3 balls and only 1 strike. The delivery from Davis. Taken for ball 4.
Yeah, Davis still looking for her first strikeout of this game. Second walked batter there against the Bears, and you've got to wonder how long Kristen Davis's leash is in this game after playing almost all of the first matchup today.
And you really wonder who they bring in. Rackard shows bunt and pulls it back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Tybee Denton has not looked like herself these last 2 days, hasn't looked like the Southeast Region Pitcher of the Year. So you wonder if you bring her in, or like you said, maybe Mooney comes into this matchup. Could potentially see one of the other veterans, Delaney Heberlin, maybe in this spot. She's usually one of the first pitchers out of the bullpen. If it's not Davis or Denton.
I feel like we probably see Heberlin first, and then maybe Denton if Heberlin can't get the job done. Rackard pulled it back in time, says first base umpire Roger Potts. That's big. That's ball 2. Wilson, the runner at first. Another bunt opportunity, but a strike for Rackard. She ripped a single right back up to center field the first time up in this game 3.
Davis has done a good job this year of battling back into counts when she's been down 2-0 and evens up the count here.
It will be a full count. Her second today. The first resulted in a walk to Lauren Rakes. This time it's put in play. Brumby traps it and steps on the bag herself at first to make the out. Almost caught it in the air. It would have been a for sure double play, but Wilson heads down to second base safely.
Yeah, you don't really see a whole lot of line drives going Brumby's way that end up getting past her. She's been very good at fielding balls just like that. Does it there to get the first out.
One down for Mardigan. Runner at second base. It's good news for Lenoir-Rhyne. Whoa, what a nasty swing on the changeup. She was way out in front of that one from Davis.
Yeah, Davis has so many different pitches in her bag, a lot of different speeds that she throws at players, and that was a nasty pitch from the second team All-PBC conference member.
This one's out into center and drops in front of Mallory Parker. Not enough to bring home Wilson from second base, though, so it stays 1-0, but the Bears are knocking on the door. It's Laney Warren, the catcher. Big spot. Runners at the corners. Ball one.
Yeah, Warren's only a freshman, hasn't shied away from big moments just like this. She's been racking up the hits in essentially every single game of the Southeast Regional. Been making a name for herself here in her first year with the Bears.
Davis slides one in there for a strike on the front door. Really nice pitch. Mike Davenport said if his team is going to win a second national championship, they'll need to keep traffic off the bases. That's been a load that has not been easy to manage. Right side and down for a base hit in front of Simmons. Easily scoring is Wilson. The throw goes to third. Dead to rights there is Mardigan. She's out. Overextending base running from the Bears leads to a free out for North Georgia. The game is tied, though. An RBI single for Warren.
We've seen a play similar to that earlier in the season where Mixon gets the ball back well in time to tag out the runner, and the game is tied, but I feel like Lenoir-Rhyne could have gotten a little bit more out of that with just one out up on the board. Instead, we got two.
We saw a huge play like that in the regional opening rounds against Francis Marion in an elimination game. It was Wicker in right, though, who fired a stripe into Mixon, who made the catch and tag. That was late in the game against the Patriots and stopped a run that was part of a comeback effort for FMU. This one's early and takes out of scoring position what would be the go-ahead run. It's 1-1 now on Cassidy Wall, the right fielder.
It's only a matter of time before Lenoir-Rhyne got on the board with a run. Only been shut out twice this year. Once was against North Georgia during the regular season.
2-1, right side, through. Another base hit. That's the fifth of the day for Lenoir-Rhyne. Warren doesn't even try for third this time. 2 on with 2 out for Laura Beth Wood.
Again, this team's not going to go down. 2 outs up on the board. They're just continuing to pile it on here against the Nighthawks, and it's going to cause a meeting in the circle here with Davis and Coach Medina.
It's only usually a pitching change if Mike Davenport comes out, so this is just a pep talk from Aaliyah Medina. Brings up Wood. Decent power hitter. 11 home runs last year, 8 this year. But this is her first season with double-digit doubles with 10. 340 hitter.
The Bears got a lot of heavy hitters on their squad. A couple of players around the 400 batting average mark. Mardigan surpassing that at 432 coming into today.
Wood, a home run and 2 doubles already in the postseason. 7 RBIs. Nice pick by Blair on ball 1 to prevent a wild pitch to advance the runners. Lauren Rakes would be next. Last person North Georgia wants to see in this situation. Bears have already tied it here in the third. The ball 1 pitch, bottom of the zone, right along that bottom rail for a strike. Change up in there for strike 2. That changeup is just causing so much deception and confusion for the Lenoir-Rhyne hitters. They look so uncomfortable when it comes out of Davis's hand.
Yeah, that change of speed there from Kristen Davis has really kept the Bears on their toes.
2-strike count. Swing and a miss. Kristen Davis with the K ends the threat. LR does liven the bats with 3 straight base knocks. They do bring home a run. We're tied after 3, a run apiece. And the Southeast Super Regional Championship from Dahlonega. A pep talk in between innings. One from Mike Davenport. Georgia Blair follows him just outside the North Georgia dugout. We've seen him do that a lot this year. And see how much it works with the 7, 8, and 9 due up in the 4th.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of times this year where it's either seniors or Coach Davenport kind of rallying his team and situation like this. Tied ball game as we head to the heart of this game, and a lot at stake here. 10 seniors on this North Georgia squad trying to not let this be their final game in a Nighthawk uniform.
Moody swings at the first pitch. Over the screen, foul. North Georgia as a university already has 2 teams headed to Orlando. The women's tennis team, number 3 in the country, they got out of the Southeast region with just their 3rd win in program history against Peach Belt rival Columbus State. Meanwhile, the men's golf team for the Nighthawks, number 1 in the nation, they dominated the Southeast regional to head to Orlando. The softball team trying to join them. 0-1 out in the left. Back, Nixon. A couple steps, she makes the catch.
Yeah, a lot of the programs here at UNG, athletic programs, having historic seasons, and women's tennis and men's golf trying to bring home their first national championships. I think that they are very poised to do it this year. Men's golf's been the number 1 ranked team in the nation for what feels like forever at this point.
Pretty much since the fall season started back in September. Gracie Mixon popped out her first time in the 2nd inning. She's in a 1-0.
We've mentioned this before on previous broadcasts, but with all the injuries that North Georgia has faced this year, Coach Davenport can confidently etch Gracie Mixon into the starting lineup. She's been so consistent for this North Georgia team. Has started every game this year, every game last year, and in the 250-plus games that North Georgia's played in over the last handful of years, only missing 6 of them.
3 balls and no strikes to count. Breaks does get one on the outside edge. Up and in. Mixon gets out of the way for ball 4. Second walk for Rakes, the first since the first inning. And now Mariah Wicker going to have a talk with Mike Davenport. Probably see a bunt here, but maybe something a little unique, and that's what the conversation is about.
Yeah, maybe trying to keep Lenoir-Rhyne on their toes. In this situation, you can typically expect to see a bunt from Mariah Wicker trying to outrun it to first.
Boy, look at Madison Prim at 3rd. She's a good 15 feet in front of the third base bag. Over at first, Wood is about 10 feet in front of first base.
I think that they're definitely anticipating something staying close to Mariah Wicker.
Ball one on the first pitch to Wicker. She bunted into a pop-up her first time up in the second. That was with nobody on, just trying to reach on a bunt single. Now she's got Mixon over at first with one out. Inside strike called. Wicker drops her shoulders because she can't believe it. That inside corner to lefties has been called more often than not so far today by Dwayne Shoemate. Now there's the bunt, pulls it back. Ball two.
And Mariah Wicker's had her fair share of up and downs this year. We've seen her in and out of the lineup, struggling a bit here in her senior season. But as Coach Davenport has made some changes to the lineup, he's inserted Mariah Wicker back into it, and it's worked out pretty well for him, especially out in left field. She's made a couple of incredible plays.
3 balls and a strike, and you can only play the bunt if Wicker gets an opportunity to lay it down. She's taken 3 outside the zone. The 1 strike she thought was well inside. Now there it is, dropped perfectly back to the pitcher rake. She'll just go to first. They do get the out there. Mixon over to second base.
And that play really could have gone either way for Mariah Wicker. Maybe you try to draw a ball for there and put 2 runners on for Katie Ward, but you do put a runner in scoring position for the leadoff batter, Katie Ward.
I think the only thing is if Wicker takes a strike there in that 3-1, then that significantly increases the risk of trying to bunt Mixon over in a 2-strike count. Because if you put it foul, it's a strikeout. And Mixon can't advance. So Wicker does get the job done now for Katie Ward with a runner in scoring position. Looking to break the tie. Just hacked foul.
Katie Ward's another player on this North Georgia squad who's kind of made her tournament debut here. Didn't get to play a lot in last year's regional tournament, and she's been starting every game of the season here for North Georgia, and into the Southeast Regional has been put in a really big spot here in just her second year as a Nighthawk.
In the air, left side, backtracking Rackard, called off by Nixon, who makes the catch on the run in shallow left. Nighthawks held in check in the 4th, still 1-1. LR will bat in the home half of the inning after this on the Nighthawks Sports Network.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
Low-scoring affair, middle innings of this game. It's the bottom of the 4th. 7, 8, and 9 hitters are scheduled up for Lenoir-Rhyne. A combined 11 runners left on base through the first 3.5 innings. 6 for North Georgia and 4 at-bats as a team. 5 for Lenoir-Rhyne and 3 at-bats. They had 3 straight singles in the 3rd inning and still only brought in 1 run.
Yeah, these two teams struggled in the first meeting of the regular season to put runners on. Neither team in that game 1 in the regular season was able to get a runner on to 3rd until the 6th inning, and it's been completely different over these last 2 days between these two squads. A lot of action on the bases.
Rakes homered on 1 pitch in the 6th inning to break the tie in game 1 earlier today. Her 16th of the year. Really jump-started Lenoir-Rhyne's spirits. They added 2 in that inning to come away with the win.
Yeah, she was a big catalyst for them in that game, as she has been all season long. The home run abilities she has keeps Lenoir-Rhyne in a lot of games.
Big swing and a miss there. Change up again for a strike.
And you could hear some of the Lenoir-Rhyne fans here calling the changeup on this next pitch. Trying to send a message to Rakes, and another great-looking pitch there from Kristen Davis.
Not a changeup, but still ball 2. Out into left. That one's deep. Wicker going back. She watches it go. Lauren Rakes smacks another. 2-1 Lenoir-Rhyne.
And if there was an official MVP of the regional tournaments and Lenoir-Rhyne ends up winning this game, it would go to Lauren Rakes, as she has just been dominating today. Sends her second ball over the wall.
Second home run of the day. It's only been 3 at-bats, and Rakes has gone home run, walk, home run since the 6th inning of today's first game. Prim, who singled her first time, is now at the plate. The transitive property doesn't work this way, but that goes to show you how big the strikeout to Wood to end the 3rd inning from Davis was, because Rakes was next, and had Wood reached, it would have been either bases loaded or 2 on for Rakes coming up at the plate, who clearly is comfortable in that batter's box right now. Kristen Davis gets a strike. It's 2-1 now on Prim.
Yeah, that's big there for North Georgia to bring Rakes up to bat with nobody on. So it's still just a 1-run ball game.
The solo shot itself doesn't do too much damage, but if Lenoir-Rhyne goes on a rally here, they will. Prim, her second hit of the day through the left side.
And again, it's a home run by Rakes that's kind of starting some momentum here for Lenoir-Rhyne, just like we saw in Game 1.
And Kristen Davis is going to be done. Mike Davenport making the change before the scoreboard can get too far out of hand. It'll be the senior Delaney Heberlin in the circle for North Georgia. When we come back, Lenoir-Rhyne's taking the lead. They've got a runner on with nobody out in the 4th of this Super Regional Championship on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Part of America's Gold Rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Delaney Heberlin for North Georgia, the senior from Eustis, Florida, and a transfer from Division I Marshall 4 years ago. Into the circle with the season on the line for both of these teams. But for the Nighthawks, they feel the pressure a little bit more as it's a 1-run deficit for them as the away team on their own turf. A home run for Lauren Rakes to start this 4th inning. Madison Prim followed with a single. Now it's Kaylin Brown with nobody out. That pitch well upstairs from Heberlin for ball 1.
The Nighthawks moving to another veteran in Delaney Heberlin. And she has had a lot of experience in the Southeast Regional for the Nighthawks coming back in 2022.
Perfect bunt down. Blair throws to first. It gets away. Out of the glove of Ward. Going to third is Prim, and down to second goes Brown. Lenoir-Rhyne's running all over the place.
Again, all the momentum has just shifted over to Lenoir-Rhyne's side after that home run from Lauren Rakes, and doing all this damage with no outs up on the board too. North Georgia has to dial in here. 2 runners now in scoring position for the Bears.
Bunt single for Kaylin Brown, most likely. It might be a single and an error. No ruling on the scoreboard at Lynn Cottrell Park yet. Top of the order now up with 2 in scoring position. Nighthawks haven't recorded an out in the 4th. Way upstairs, 2-0. Heberlin has yet to throw a strike. There is a good one from Heberlin against Wilson. Wilson, so far in this 3rd game of the series, a ground out and a walk with a run scored. Trying to add an RBI or more to that list. Left side, picked by Moody. She checks the runner, now throws to first. That's not in time! Bases loaded. Upstairs to Caitlin Rackard. Nighthawks in a lot of trouble here in the 4th. Lenoir-Rhyne on the verge of history if they can win this game, and they're in a good spot to increase the likeliness of that here in the 4th. Up and in, strike called. LR fans hate it.
And the Bears have done a really good job of just taking 2 really, really good pitchers out of the game in Tybee Denton, Southeast Region Pitcher of the Year, and one of the best pitchers in the PBC in Kristen Davis, removing them from the game.
Outside from Heberlin, 2-1. Heberlin's thrown 9 pitches since she came on in relief this inning. 2 have found the zone. Ten pitches. Three and one on record. That's ball 4. 3rd run of the game for LR. It's walked in by Caitlin Rackard with the bases loaded.
Nighthawks smell danger here. Bases still loaded, still no outs, and Nighthawks are looking for any answer here in the circle, anything they can find. Delaney Heberlin struggling after coming out of the bullpen.
Taking the strike is the second baseman, Mardigan. This 4th inning for Lenoir-Rhyne. Home run, single, single, single. Bases loaded walk. They've plated 2 already. Does not feel like they're done. Mardigan hits it off the glove of Mixon. That's a fair ball. Runners behind on the play. Mixon's got to throw it, and she doesn't. Everybody's safe. It's another run.
Very uncharacteristic play there from Gracie Mixon over there at 3rd. Like you said, Brendan, she could have made the play there to at least get an out up on the board, and this inning has just been all about Lenoir-Rhyne. 3 runs in the 4th.
Lainey Warren takes a strike. Five hits in this 4th inning. 4 singles and a solo home run. A 1 to Warren. Misses outside. If you're Mixon, she had her back turned, so she doesn't know that the runners are behind because they were all holding because they thought she was going to catch it. But she doesn't know that. But still, any base you can go to probably results in an out, and Delaney Heberlin just hit Laney Warren with the bases loaded to bring in a fourth run of the fourth inning. It is falling apart for North Georgia, and Lenoir-Rhyne is loving it. The rain starting to fall here in Dahlonega. We knew if a third game was necessary, the forecast would play a factor. Still sunny skies, but drizzle's falling down now as Aaliyah Medina's in the circle for a conversation.
Yeah, hopefully the rain lets up here so we can wrap up this winner go home game, and the Nighthawks just stunned here in this inning with 4 runs coming up across home plate, and they just have not had an answer for Lenoir-Rhyne, especially when it comes to their pitching.
So a pinch runner at both spots at first and second for Sheena Holler. Is Aaron Lookabill, who goes to second, and Alicia Gilliam over to first in the places, respectively, of Julia Mardigan and Laney Warren.
Yeah, the Bears know what's at stake here with no outs. They can threaten to put even more runs up on the board here. Already got 4 in the fourth, but like you said earlier, Brendan, it doesn't seem like the Bears are going to be done anytime soon here in this inning.
With a 4-run lead and the bases loaded, they're a home run away from being in run rule territory as the home team here in Dahlonega in this third game. It's Cassidy Wall, the right fielder. Wall, a home run threat. She's got double-digit bombs this year. She's in a good count to swing away. 2 balls and no strikes. 7th batter to the plate in Wall.
You've got to force Wall into some soft contact here. Try to make Lenoir-Rhyne make a routine play.
Right side, Simmons is under it. Tagging for home and sliding in safely is Caitlin Rackard. The other 2 runners advance on the throw from Simmons. It's 5-1. Sorry, excuse me, 6-1. That's the 5th run of this 4th inning.
Yeah, these 2 teams saw each other during the regular season. Lenoir-Rhyne was only able to put 2 runs up on the board against the Nighthawks over those 2 games. They look like a completely different team here in the Super Regional.
The first out of the 4th inning finally recorded, and it still is a positive out for LR. Laura Beth Wood, the only hitter in the original starting 9 for Lenoir-Rhyne who hasn't batted. He takes strike 2. It's the first time Heberlin's been in a 2-strike count since she entered the game.
Doesn't look like there's a ton of action going on in North Georgia's bullpen. They still got Anderson Wright, and like we mentioned earlier, maybe see Sophie Mooney at some point.
Fouled down the third baseline by Wood, so it stays 1-2. Yeah, nobody else is throwing in the North Georgia bullpen anymore. Good changeup, but almost. No, she is punched out. Okay, so a late punch out from Dwayne Shoemate on the strike inside. Delaney Heberlin gets the K.
That was quite the long strikeout call there. Thought that the count was going to be evened up.
Yeah, I thought Wood was stepping out just to take a breather after narrowly avoiding a strikeout, but it is a strikeout. That's her 2nd of the game. She's just the 2nd strikeout total for a North Georgia pitcher. First pitch swinging, rakes. after she led off this inning with a home run, grounds it foul. Finally, there's 2 outs in the inning. The Nighthawks do have first base open against the slugger Rakes. Out deep into right center. Lauren Rakes has done it again! A 3-homer day! 2 in the championship! 9-1 the score! The Bears can smell it!
My goodness, Lauren Rakes proving why she's one of the best home run hitters in the entire country. Hits her second of this inning in the bottom of the 4th, an 8-run inning here for the Bears. It's been all Lenoir-Rhyne here in this one.
It's now an 8-run ball game, and North Georgia, as it stands right now, we're not out of the 4th. As it stands right now, has to score at least a run in the 5th to even keep this game going, let alone their season. Heberlin skips it in. It's 1-1 on Prim. An outrageous performance from Lauren Rakes today. There's strike 2 on the foul off the end of the bat.
That was another no-doubter, too, as that one sailed into the parking lot. You could see Madison Simmons out there in right field just went to her knees. She knew that there was no doubt about that one. And, wow, Lauren Rakes, man, you just got to give her flowers.
There's a foul again on a changeup. Prim out in front of it, but able to keep it on the barrel to stay alive for another pitch. Can't emphasize enough what we said yesterday. Lauren Rakes is her name, and it's a factual statement as well. How fitting is that, someone named Rakes? 19 home runs this season now, 3 of them in the last 2 hours.
Yeah, she's just one of the best utility players in all of softball, having 18 home runs on the year to go with those 200 strikeouts. She does it all.
And a foul ball grounded to Mixon again. What impressive fashion to make school history if Lenoir-Rhyne can hang on and just get 3 outs in the top of the 5th. And that one, changeup that Eberlin misgripped, and it catches the back of Madison Prim's head. She appears completely fine as that one was soft towards home plate. Still not out of it.
And you can see now there is some action going on in North Georgia's bullpen. Aniston Wright makes her way out.
Delaney Heberlin does record 2 outs, but it takes 9 batters, 4 hits, one of which a 3-run shot to put Lenoir-Rhyne in run rule territory. It's all smiles for the Cardinal and White. The blue and white know their season comes down to this. Aniston Wright, the new pitcher, will step aside for the change in Dahlonega, the Super Regional Championship on the Nighthawks Sports Network.
Part of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Aniston Wright, the senior for North Georgia, native out of Sonoya, Going to try to get the final out in this fourth inning. That's already had 11 batters to the plate. Kaylin Brown, the center fielder, will be the 12th. She's got a runner on, and Madison Prim, who was hit by a pitch just before the break. With 2 outs, Prim over at first.
Yeah, Mike Davenport just looking for any sort of answer he can get here in the circle. Brings another veteran in Aniston Wright. That was a nice-looking pitch there to start things out with a strike.
Brown's single as the third batter this inning, her first of the day. Strike 2, good pitch from Aniston. Quickly 0-2. Just missing downstairs is Aniston. She pitched 1 1/3 innings in the PBC championship against Columbus State. That did not go well for her. Think of what Delaney Heberlin just did. That's what Aniston Wright had in the PBC championship. Denton was removed. It was clear that she was not going to be able to get it done that day. Aniston allowed 3 earned runs and 6 hits in just the 4 outs she recorded. That's the only postseason action she's seen. 1-2, right side. Brumby scoops it up, steps on the bag. Lenoir-Rhyne is 3 outs away. A 9-1 lead as the home team in the third game. School history's on the line after these words on the Nighthawks Sports Network. The only chance for the Nighthawks rests on the shoulders of their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Statistically, one of the best orientations they could ask for in an elimination situation. This team rarely run-ruled at home in program history. Now they're at risk of it to end the season. Rakes the first pitch to Georgia Blair as a ball low. It'll be Georgia Blair, Mallory Parker, and Mary Seal Brumby. The last chance for the Nighthawks. They just need a lone run to at least push this game to the bottom of the 5th. Should they get that run and get to the bottom of the 5th, they'll have to stop Lenoir-Rhyne from walking it off via the run rule.
Now you've seen North Georgia run ruled once this season against Georgia College in the regular season, and that was definitely an eye-opening experience. It's usually the Nighthawks on the other end of that, and in a big spot here. Man, the Bears have just come to play today after being run ruled yesterday. Looking for back-to-back wins here against the Nighthawks.
Fighting back in the at-bat is Rakes. It's 2-2 now. Blair, 17 home runs this year. They've never needed 18 more. Hard liner, Davenport ducks out of the way as it's foul over to third base.
Yeah, if anybody's going to start a comeback here for North Georgia, it's going to be the veteran Georgia Blair. Has been making big plays for the Nighthawks all season long. Was a catalyst on a comeback earlier in the year against Alabama Huntsville, trying to do so again here.
2-2. Another foul. Lenoir-Rhyne has been to the NCAA tournament 16 times. They've only made it to the Super Regional 3 times. They've never been past this point in the season. Blair on the ground to third. Back pick by Prim. Throw to first for the first out. 2 outs away. Parker a single and a strikeout in this elimination game.
Advantage for North Georgia. You're bringing up a couple veterans here. Just saw Georgia Blair, now Mallory Parker.
Swing and a miss. Last time the Nighthawks didn't win the regional before COVID, the 2019 season. That 2020 season was ended early after North Georgia started 23-4 that year. Since then, they've had 3 regional championships and a national championship under belt. Parker just fights off the 0-2 foul.
Yeah, Parker's going to fight here on what could potentially be her last at-bat as a Nighthawk. Again, like we said, time and time before, Parker is going to go down punching.
It's been 26 years since a national champion defended their title in consecutive years in NCAA Division II softball. And if North Georgia can't find a way to put at least a run across in the 5th, that streak is going to extend to 27. 1-2 on Parker. Out in the air, left field, long run for Nixon, but that keeps slicing out of play. One and two again. Same thing as the last one. 3-2 strike fouls for Parker. Not going down without a fight. She takes ball 2. Parker right side. Caught! Mark Deegan, what a grab! 2 down in the 5th.
Wow, not only have their bats come to play, but so is their fielding. A big, big out there. And now this season for North Georgia rests on the bat of Brumby.
Mary Seal Brumby, a walk and a fly out today. She takes ball 1. Lenoir-Rhyne softball started 44 years ago. Never have they been this close. The fans, the parents, all with their phones out, waiting for that final out. Out into right center. Long run for Brown. He got it! She's got it! Lenoir-Rhyne, pack your bags. You're bound for Orlando. For the first time in program history, the Bears are the champions of the Southeast region. Oh, sweet relief for Sheena Holler. She's waited 27 long years as a head coach for this moment. And she's finally done it. Her team has finally done it. Lenoir-Rhyne, your 2024 NCAA Softball Division II Southeast regional champions. What a performance, Robert.
Absolutely. You couldn't have asked for anything better if you're Lenoir-Rhyne after an embarrassing loss yesterday, getting run-ruled by North Georgia. They just came to play here on this final day with their season on the line, taking down the Nighthawks at home. Not an easy thing to do, and run-ruling the Nighthawks in 5 innings here in the Super Regional. What a performance here by Lenoir-Rhyne, and you just got to give your flowers to Lauren Rakes, who is the quote-unquote MVP, unofficial MVP, I would say, of this Southeast Super Regional. She has just been sensational, and Lenoir-Rhyne moving on to Orlando, making history, making the national championships, and congratulations to North Georgia for another fantastic season, but this game belongs to the Bears, making history, heading to the Sunshine State.
Lenoir-Rhyne dethrones the national champions from last year. They punched their ticket as the 5th team to advance out of the regionals and head to Orlando. They'll join Augustana as the 2nd regional 4 seed to move on. Lenoir-Rhyne will play Sunday in the NCAA Division II championships in Orlando. North Georgia's road comes to an end at home in the Super Regionals for the first time in 4 years. They will not leave Dahlonega with more games scheduled. Thank you to everyone who tuned in this year. What a year it was. For everybody here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, Devin Kupka, Bailey Vessel, Robert DiClemente, I'm Brennan Shabath. We are so glad to bring you Nighthawk Athletics every single day throughout the entire season. This, our final home broadcast of the year. We're glad you could be here. We're glad we could bring you a fantastic softball game from 2 fantastic teams. North Georgia loses to Lenoir-Rhyne as the Bears, for the first time in program history, are your Southeast Region champions. A 9-1 victory over the Nighthawks.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. It is our pleasure to present the award ceremony for the 2024 NCAA Division II Softball Southeast Super Regional. Presenting each award is Brittany Bennett, the event's NCAA site representative. First for the region runner-up, the Nighthawks of North Georgia. Infielder and freshman Peyton Laval Masonette. Outfielder and freshman Caitlin Johnson. Infielder and sophomore Chloe Potts. Sophomore outfielder Caroline Branch. Sophomore infielder Katie Ward. Sophomore outfielder Sydney Blair. Sophomore infielder Mary Seal Brumby. Junior catcher Sadie Johnson. Junior infielder Grayson Perry. Junior infielder Riley Moody. Senior infielder Sophie Moody. Senior pitcher Aniston Wright. Senior outfielder Madison Simmons. Senior catcher Georgia Blair. Senior infielder Gracie Mixon. Senior outfielder Mallory Parker. Senior pitcher Delaney Eberly. Senior outfielder Mariah Wicker. Senior pitcher Kristen Davis. Senior pitcher Tybee Denton. Freshman infielder Hannah Chisholm. Freshman infielder Journey Roberts. Sophomore outfielder Caitlin Johnston. And sophomore infielder Madison Cosgrove. Congratulations to the Nighthawks of North Georgia on an outstanding 2024 season. And now, the 2024 NCAA Division II Softball Southeast Region Champions, the Bears of Lenoir-Rhyne. Lenoir-Rhyne advances to the 2024 NCAA Division II Softball Championship to be held May 19th through the 25th in Orlando, Florida. Let's give all of these outstanding student athletes one more round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support of NCAA softball.